Let's call the meeting to order. It's 1:40. Thank you all for joining us. So our secretary, Federico, will take it from here.
Okay, Ariana Valdez.
Present.
Elizabeth Carrera, not present. Federico Lizondo, present. Francisco Reyes.
Present.
Luis Vasquez.
Present.
Nidia Robles, not present. Roberto Gonzalez, not present. Viviana Frank.
Present.
Myra Hernandez.
Present.
Ruby Rangel, not present. Valerie Gonzalez, not present. So we do have quorum since we are 6 people.
Should we move forward with the approval of minutes?
Well, did everybody get to read it?
So
Are you good? Is everybody good?
the minutes are right there on your folder. It's in the
Hi.
it's in the brown within the brown folder in the front. So
Okay. Is everybody good to approve the minutes?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
So,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? None heard, motion carries. Citizen comments. Citizens are required to fill out a witness card no later than 2 p.m. and can be found at 1301 Farragut Street, 3rd floor, conference. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. No more than 3 persons will be allowed to speak on any side of an issue. Speakers may not pass their minutes to any other speaker. Comments should be relevant to the city business and delivered in a professional manner. No derogatory remarks will be permitted. Did anybody sign up for? We have a guest. Would you like to tell us your name?
My name's Eva Chicas. I have been in Laredo for a few years. I have seen a lot of different sides of everything. I'm coming from a very professional background, a very developmental background, to living in Laredo that I feel had a lot of development, and for some reason it has cascaded and needs revival. So I am trying to understand exactly what the pattern is for progress for this region. And I'm just trying to get some more information. I'm someone who has a lot of resources within the city with contacts and so on and so forth, but I don't really see that the resources that are being placed are really able to grow and build. So I'm just trying to understand the different variants, because I have seen the city development in other locations and worked with it. I'm just trying to work with whatever you're trying to develop here in the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Action items. So board reports. I'll start very briefly. I just want to, and we're going to touch upon it later, but we have a lot of. I have devoted my time the last month and a half on making sure that we get our job notice out, and we've gotten a lot of response. Most of it is not really, I don't think they really looked at the job description, they're just submitting. But there are some very good ones. We are coming very the plan was to get this out, schedule the interviews, and then have our meeting for nominations to the board, and there's already a nominating committee for that, so we don't have to redo that. I will, at this time like to, let me see, it's, okay, it is an action item. So, we've had several things occur on concerning where we are with the lease and the building and things like that. So we're gonna allow our other guest today to introduce herself and maybe give us a little bit of an update of what's happening.
Councilmember Melissa Figueroa for District 3. The Consejo House does sit in my district. And as some of you know and may have seen, there is fencing now around the Consejo House proper. And that is simply, the building has been deemed by risk management and by our engineering department to be unsafe. And that has to do with neglect of maintenance and repairs that were made just a few years ago. I believe that they weren't addressed properly, so that a roof leak has precipitated much of this. Suddenly the second floor, which originally was not intended to be remodeled, now is a concern for this version of the risk department. And while that factors in perhaps a little bit, I think really what engineering has explained is that it just contributes to the deterioration of the rest of the building. The fact that it wasn't addressed previously. So you also may have heard that the city is on a strict lockdown with expending any additional funds. But I do have monies in my discretionary funds, and as district council members, we are allowed to access those. My intent is to see the restoration so that we can get the building safe for people to use. Again, that first floor. I believe the second floor, the reason why they didn't address it the first time around is because of the expense. I would imagine, though, that we can set out a plan so that that can be handled over a number of years. And I think the biggest barrier, we're discussing the Consejo House and trying to get it up so that it can be open again, is simply that we rely on the same department to do work all around the city. We're going to discuss, hopefully tomorrow, and I'd like to invite Ms. Frank to join me, with management if we don't establish or think about bringing on an outside architect to be able to do that work more quickly. So that, and the suggestion is it shouldn't be as large a cost because we are talking about repairs to the building to get that process started. But from a fear of it being sort of an overreaction from the risk department to shut it down, I think what I've been explained and what's been shown to me shows that there really is a real concern for people's safety in being in that building. So I can tell you that I pledge to you to get this bottom level fixed so we can get it open again to the public. I think it's a terrible public perception to have it closed down after all the work that was done to restore and repair it. It is, I think, an underappreciated treasure that we have.
Sobre todo porque no avisaron, nadie nos avisó nada, que iban a poner la reja alrededor. Ahí hay cosas de nosotros que usamos, semillas, cosas del farmer's market, mesas, sillas.
Todo que está adentro todavía no dijeron nada.
Cerrado.
Y fíjese que cuando me explican las cosas a mí no me explican esa parte de la falta de comunicación y lo siento porque hubiera dicho que eso es principalmente.
Lo más fácil era primero avisarnos y sacar todo lo que necesitamos.
Pues eso de sacar cosas, voy a hablar con el departamento de parques para que lo hagan. Y ¿hay lugar para esas cosas?
No, las semillas las guardo adentro de la casa, porque si las guardo afuera se las comen las ratas, entonces las tengo que guardar adentro. Incluso la casa de Canseco tiene un problema también, que yo ya me adelanté porque tenía ratas y yo ya puse venenos y estaciones porque es parte de mi trabajo, yo lo sé hacer. y eso de ningún lado va a estar, pero eso yo lo estoy haciendo porque adentro de la casa había ratas, afuera también, y además hay palomas en el techo. Entonces, para mí era más, bueno, era primero atacar esos problemas que poner una fence,
Sí.
¿verdad? Entonces, pero bueno.
But was it both buildings? Because there's two buildings at that facility. It's your main Conseco home, and then there's a sub property. Were both of them
No, no más la
surrounded?
casa.
Just one.
Ah,
So
la
then
casa.
would risk management and engineering determine that only the house is of concern, but not the other buildings?
That's what I understood.
Because if that's the case, then it would be okay with city for us to transfer some of the items that we have in the main building to the secondary building, and if it's feasible, just in the interim while
Yes.
the fixing, or we find another alternative, but in the short
El
term.
carriage house también se llueve y también está húmedo. Es el mismo problema que tiene la casa.
Storage.
Ajá.
But if you already have them in the house, and it's the same problem at the other facility, if the other one's not of concern, just the main house, can we transfer the equipment or the seats to one property while one is being rehabbed? And I guess that's a question for city risk management.
Right.
Because you're looking
and-
at things that we may not be responsible for.
And I would imagine looking into some temporary storage as well
Yeah.
there on the grounds. I mean, they have
We don't have
those.
anybody from, do we have
buildings.
anybody on the team from South Texas Food Bank?
Ya
Hmm?
no.
Yeah,
No,
no.
no.
But I have, what do you have? A lot of
He used to
contacts.
be.
Well, the thing is, I think they have a little space warehouse that maybe in the short term, they get a short term, like, we don't, I don't
Is
know.
this-
DM.
South Texas Food Bank, I think they have a storage facility, maybe we could borrow short term for.
That probably needs to be close so that he can utilize it, so, is there any, look, as, one of the things that we
Regional.
talked about was part of the reason this is LGC and the whole thing. There are ways that the board, and because it's an LGC, it can participate with the city easily. So is that of consideration, or?
Yes, I think, so. Well, the concern from management is that the lease hasn't been signed. So,
So,
Correct, it hasn't been signed. We don't have an executed lease. We took it to city council hopefully on June the 16th and again on July. And going in regards to the fencing, we did share with the executive, with Ms. Viviana, we did share our lease. We gave her a copy of it. We said that on May the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. And it does show the areas that they won't have access to. It included the diagram and it shows the house and also the storage room.
Entonces,
That's gonna be, yes,
So-
correct.
at that point, probably somebody should have explained why it was being.
We have been explaining the conditions of the house. We also mentioned that they shouldn't be accessing the house because it was deemed unsafe. So if they did have
la casa,
items,
nadie entra a la casa.
yeah, nobody should be going.
Pero
no,
yo-
no,
yo-
no, I'm sorry, but it was used for a long time.
Correct.
And there was no issue with the, I mean,
El asunto
at
también.
that point, I think what happened is they said, hey, what do you all think needs to be addressed? And what we said was, there's, you know, these things, you gotta address the roof, but the access, ADA access is the most important thing, because nobody wants to get dinged for that, right? And so we just need to, and that was it. The rest could have been addressed internally with all the help, you know, all the just communication. There was, the roof, as I understand it, was repaired in 2017, like replaced.
Well, and when I entered office,
Mhm.
you could see the stains on the roof, and I don't remember who I spoke to, but I did speak to someone thinking that it would be addressed,
Mhm.
and you come to find it's not addressed. So finding those modes of communication to, not just to communicate with the city, but also to get things done and have a plan of action has been a challenge. And so I think there's a better understanding, and I'm hoping that those challenges are being addressed so that we can get the repairs done that need to be done.
And in the short term, if I may, Madam Chair, the first step that we need to take is we need the inventory. So we need to find a replacement Francisco, I believe Regional Food Bank may have
There's
some
a container.
space
Yeah, there's a
to.
container you can use.
So my next question to city is, can someone go in there to get the equipment or merchandise receipts to get them out? So we can then transport it to another location that I guess is agreed by the committee.
Yeah, we'll coordinate for someone to be present.
Okay, so that would be my first thing. The second thing is, okay, now, we can't go back. I don't like to go back. It is what it is. Communication hiccups happen. Those we can iron out later. But moving forward, when it comes to the house, what do we need to do? What is LCUA is responsible when it comes to rehabbing that property so we can?
Can do everything if it wanted to. It's just a matter of working with the city and getting.
Who will be financially responsible for those? Because I'm hearing that there's some discretionary resources or funds.
Well, the city ultimately is, it's their building. However, there's agreements. I just think that we're like, if these are things that can be worked on together by just getting an assessment and doing the things that, it's not as, I don't see it as that complicated, and it shouldn't take long, and that's the benefit of having an organization that is there and can address things immediately rather than, go through having to do a lot of stuff that is, time and getting people to takes time to do all these things, as you say, within the city. But because there's a organization on top of it, it's not a, maybe because, I deal with this all the time, and it's, it's just a matter of getting the people there to fix the issues. And if somebody's there saying, hey, this is, let me go get 3 quotes, let me figure out, and then you can figure out how to pay for it, then that's what you need to do. But obviously, it's the first thing that needs to happen is either there's a call to the company that installed it and see if there's a warranty, because sometimes you purchase the warranty once you replace the roof, and if they still exist and they're around, ask them to come and do an assessment. That's kind of the first thing that can happen. Then, once that's done, you can figure out where the other problems are. Otherwise, you can't. It's just, that's...
Yeah, no, we need somebody professional to begin to identify.
And it's
or
like,
verify.
go to the people who installed it and find out what's going on with that. Because I know it wasn't like, it was in 2017, but it was...
Madam Chair, just to confirm, before we make any movement on rehabbing the building, we also need to make sure we sign a lease agreement, is that correct?
Well,
Or am I confused with that?
I can tell you whether or not, let's say you had the freedom and you were deciding whether you wanted to be the property or not, it's the city's facility, the city needs to fix it. So, the fact that I am able to allow for those funds to be spent for that manner during this moratorium is because we have district funds. But it is the city's property, so it does need to be repaired.
But is it required for us to have some form of agreement, LCUAS have an agreement signed, because we still haven't signed anything?
No, we did sign it. So the city, the preliminary lease, the month-to-month, was signed by us.
We don't have a record of that one. I asked.
No, maybe the city didn't sign it, but it was sent to them, and it was created by them,
We don't have an executed version of it.
of them executing it, because we
So in other
executed
words,
it.
what I'm hearing from Vivian is the LCUAs did sign,
I don't
was
have a
sent
copy of
to
that one.
maybe attorney's office or someone at city, and then it just,
Do you have it?
I have one of the copies, but
Because the one that he provided me last time, it's not signed by anyone.
Okay.
but nobody from LCUAs or city, okay. But we're hearing that LCUAs did sign, you just don't have somebody from city had to sign, okay?
No, this is the copy you gave us.
yeah, that's all I have. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
And I thought that was on hold because of the building
Building,
issues,
uh-huh.
right? That's why the lease wasn't.
Correct. Because yes, you're absolutely correct. But yes, we asked several departments. No one has a copy of the executed version or it being signed by anyone. So that's the reason that it's very important to have a lease version. And that's why we recommended last time to exclude the house and the storage room to make sure that you can have a lease to use the property.
So are we now signing it, or?
No, we have to take it to city council. We're taking it on June 16 and also on the other meeting of July. So we estimate for this contract to be executed by no later than August.
And that's gonna be for the property, not the home.
Correct.
So by the way, September is, we also sent a letter in for the funding.
Yes,
Is that-
correct. And that has been processed.
It has?
Yes.
Okay.
Pero entonces ya no vamos hasta...
Because the end of September is the end of our
ya no
first year.
podemos
of
usar la
having
propiedad,
the-
por la propiedad, pero me refiero al jardín, el jardín también la propiedad.
Just
No,
FYI.
sí, la jardín sí.
Entonces no podemos trabajar ahí.
Not yet,
Well,
right?
technically, you're not
Technically.
supposed to because we don't have a
Yes,
executed lease. but
that's
you-
what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
What I'm understanding, what I'm understanding is we can't be in the property, period. Not the
Until-
grounds, not the.
Technically,
So
you
there's
should not, to be
Based
honest.
on the
with
fact
you.
that-
Yes, because we don't have an
You have
executed
to water from
version.
outside the fence,
Not that-
from the street.
Ahora, me parece muy...
It's pure
Sorry.
Todo una opinión muy respetable desde la comodidad, desde su oficina, desde el aire acondicionado, pero la gente que estamos ahí realmente batallando, en este sol, en este calor, en la lluvia, en el frío, no tenemos más que un baño decente que está dentro de la casa. Y yo no le puedo decir a una señora de 60 años que me está ayudando ahí que no entre al baño, porque necesita ir al baño. ¿Qué le digo? ¿Que vaya a Burger King? ¿Que vaya al Porta Potty que está ahí todo sucio? Le tengo que dar permiso de que entre al baño y salga. Eso nadie lo está viendo. Y no le va a pasar nada porque va al baño. Es un baño decente, el único decente que hay ahí. Entonces,
Pero no lo están
No,
permitiendo.
I understand. But,
Sí, eso
todo el
es
mundo
cierto.
tiene su opinión desde su comodidad, porque nadie está batallando en eso.
Well, pero no es que no queremos que entren, es que la ciudad está diciendo que no pueden por...
Because it's
por-
not safe.
Yeah, it's not safe.
Y eso de que el baño portable está sucio, eso es llamar y
No, sí
a
va
la
cada
compañía.
semana, pero me
Yo-
refiero a que todavía que estás batallando ahí en el calor, vas al portafolio a ponerte en un horno, otra vez, en otro horno adentro. Chinga.
Sí.
¿No van una semana a limpiarlo?
Van una vez a la semana.
So, a lease is being,
Ahora, nosotros nos encargamos de limpiar, como quiera, barremos y trapeamos adentro de la casa y el baño lo limpiamos nosotros mismos. Ahí tengo todo el equipo de barrer, trapear, de líquidos, todo lo hacemos nosotros como quiera.
sí,
No estamos haciéndole ningún daño a la propiedad, entonces...
sí. No, este no es por
No, yo
cuestión
entiendo.
o culpa de ustedes, es por
Pero
ver a
me
la
parece
casa y
que
que no han
falta
arreglado cosas que
mucho
hubieran
criterio.
arreglado ya. Porque cuando nosotros estuvimos la primera vez batallando para entrar a la casa y todo, podíamos ver todo el daño del agua, el que estaba tirando agua adentro.
So that, because we don't,
Pensé que
yes,
iba a hacer algo.
yeah, my thing is we can operate out of Conseco House property.
No,
That's what I'm
en 5 años
understanding.
no se debió haber estado ahí, entonces...
No, exacto.
Without an executed lease, no, you're correct.
So I just don't want to get into a legal battle with the city because knowingly we're going into property that we should not be going to.
So I thought
And
it
it
was
can't-
going 2 weeks ago with, remember when we
Yes,
spoke?
correct. It did go, but the meeting is until June 16th.
And that's because there's a revision to the contract.
And you can't
No,
forego the second
this is
meeting?
the first time we put it in city council. The first one was the contract for the funding, and this is actually for the house. The reason that we delayed on putting it for the house was we were missing the assessment by engineering division. But since we wanted to be proactive and you all have an executed lease, we decided just to remove the house and the store so we can proceed to have an executed lease.
But it
for
needs
the
to go-
property.
But it needs to go to two,
Correct.
hearing and approval, I guess.
Yes, it requires two city council.
Two city councils. There's no special meeting,
I'm trying to- We're having a special meeting tomorrow.
but it's too late for that.
No,
so
but
I'm
you
sorry.
can forgo the second meeting sometimes, like they say.
Not on leases.
Not in
Correct.
what?
Not on lease agreements. When we're leasing, you cannot. It requires 2 meetings.
That's probably for public comment and public opinion or whatnot.
Okay.
And is there a way we can have possibly the Parks Department to oversee the property in the meantime, at least to maintain the garden or the growing area?
Actually, that may be
And then-
like internal
Is it,
We'll
well,
resume.
and I,
environmental.
this is recording.
We can,
Si no vamos una
why don't
semana,
we,
se llena todo.
why don't we, like, save some stuff? We need to talk in executive session
Yes.
anyway, so.
Nadie que va a echar a
Can we go into executive session?
Yes.
Okay. Let's skip the action items for now and go into executive session.
Okay.
Executive session, the board reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during the course of this meeting to discuss any proposed agenda item when authorized by Texas Government Code. Sections 551071, consultation with attorney, 551072, deliberations about real property, 551073, deliberations about gifts and donations, 551074, personnel matters, 551076, deliberations about security devices, or 551.086, economic development. Following the closed session, the open meeting will reconvene, at which time, if any, action may be taken.
I make a motion to enter executive session.
All those in favor?
Oh,
All those
We don't
second.
second?
Yeah, we need a second.
Second? Second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? None heard. Motion carries. I'm sorry, I was just looking at this. Is everybody in? Okay. Okay.
I'll make a motion to exit executive session.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. None heard, motion carries. There was no action taken during executive session, and we're just gonna move on to the next item, which is update regarding Jose Moreno's independent contractor agreement and possible action regarding the title revision to urban agriculture education director compensation benefits.
So at this time, we decided we were gonna defer to take action on that point until July
I
7th.
make a motion.
Oh, do I have to make a motion? Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
I make a motion to defer till the July 7th, once we find out about the lease agreement and if we can go into the building.
I second.
All in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then-
All those opposed?
No. Okay.
Well, anybody want to have I should say discussion. Anybody want to have a discussion?
Oh, I was gonna bring up that in lieu of maybe having a space there at Conseco House, we can try to see if we can find space at the Parks Department. And then we have several community gardens at some of our rec centers, and we'll see if we can try to get you a space or maybe rotate between places, because right now our staff is the one that waters and takes care of the plants, but we have plenty of plants in places where you can do demonstrations. So I'm gonna ask the director and
Is there space for seeds and all of that? Is it at the
Like the store?
we have a nursery, and yeah, there should be space.
When?
Does that work, Jose?
Okay, does that work?
While we get permission to be in the Conseco property? How are we gonna do it with the plants that are there now? So he will go water?
No, he
or-
goes and he does what he needs to do. The other, well, I
So
guess,
for example, we were scheduled to go this Saturday. I mean, we were there this morning,
Uh-huh.
and last Tuesday, we were scheduled to go Saturday, and then next Tuesday, next Thursday.
With volunteers?
Like always.
I don't know.
well, but there are not that many.
I mean, we can make a post online that says we will move or reschedule to another location, just to notify people. And we can even put
Put a
like
sign.
a sign there.
Well, no, he needs help
Yeah. O sea,
to do that. He can't do it on his own.
Necesitamos seguir haciendo el trabajo de ahí, porque las plantas se van a morir.
Oh, that's what diciendo que para
As
que-
long as
But
they
I-
doesn't see, that it's that red area that they said, don't go beyond this, in this point, that's that's what they're concerned about. They're not concerned about people being in the garden.
Okay.
They're just saying you don't have a lease, but I can tell you that there will, I can't tell you, I don't have one of those savant memories, but back when all of this started, this was all the council approved people, this whole garden, this whole thing at Canseco House. It didn't need a lease. They didn't say we needed a lease for that or anything. They said that's where you're gonna be, and that's where it was up until this last year where they said, no, now that it's all formal, you need to do a lease.
Yeah.
Or at the minimum, a license agreement so you can use it for a couple of years or an extended period of time. Because that
Es la primera vez en 5 años que estamos teniendo tanta gente, tantos voluntarios. Aquí está la prueba. Todas estas son sign-ins de este año. Nunca hemos tenido tantas. Entonces, justo cuando hay más gente viniendo y más gente preocupada y ayudando, no, ya no pueden estar.
No, they can stay in the
So then
garden.
he continues doing
You
his classes
just
there.
go and be in the garden. The issue is not the garden. It's the house. Can we get more bathroom? Like, do we order a bathroom?
Regarding the restriction.
There's bathrooms that are nicer.
Yeah.
It's a porta potty.
Este porta potty lo paga, creo que lo paga aparte. Hasta donde yo sé,
Bueno.
necesitamos a lo mejor nosotros pagar uno. Como
Can that be considered part of our equipment for now? The porta potty?
It can be
We
here.
have it in writing. It's the excluded parts that we cannot be in
Exactly.
is this.
Is the right.
Okay, so then we should be okay with
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, we're
no
good.
lo cambies entonces.
it's because they call it an attractive
Yeah, well-
nuisance.
Okay.
No, but if you're gonna have volunteers and they need to go to the bathroom, we need to make sure that we either lease a portable potty, and I would recommend one portable potty that is ADA compliant, so, and it's gender neutral, so we can only have one. So
Can
like
we
the-
put that as part of the
Están
equipment?
yendo, como cuántos
That we
esperas el
need,
sábado.
like, part of the
No, el sábado a lo
contract?
mejor poquito,
So part of the
pero
contract
hoy
is, supplies?
éramos como 20,
We have-
so
Thank you
pues,
very
We have
much.
supplies, we have some under supplies,
Right?
furniture, fixture, and equipment. Yeah,
Pero
okay.
van temprano, ¿verdad? Nada más como
Bueno,
mañanita.
puedes hablar, what's the funny name? That one we always get from the, like, that, one of the companies here.
Oh, like the port.
They're very funny. The names are very funny. So no, you can, yeah, order one.
The city has contracts.
South Texas
Okay.
Waste Systems is the one we
South Texas what?
Waste Systems, STWS.
They're actually here downtown too. They have to.
Llegamos para
That's
el
one.
25 hoy.
There's some that have like the faucet.
Pero uno que es ADA
Yeah, they have
y que
a
vienen a limpiarlo,
Cada otro día.
how often? 3 days?
Creo que
Sí.
es una vez a la semana.
Pero
Una
no
vez
pueden
a la
venir más.
seguro, una vez a la semana. Ok. ¿Tú dices cuándo? Agarra un. Okay. So we're going to, in this particular item, we have, the motion is to move it to the next meeting. As soon as this thing is signed, which is at the next meeting, July, right?
July 7th.
So by the third Thursday, we should be.
Yes,
Go.
you just have to take to routing the
Okay.
police agreement as soon as it's signed.
Yeah.
I'll present it to you.
Okay, great. Because we want to make sure everybody's copacetic and it's going to get signed.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The second thing is for, in part of the discussion, what we're voting on is to move it. It's for him to talk to Elizabeth about having a space for everything so you can be comfortable and in good shape. It's obviously better to be in there, but we don't have that opportunity right now. And then third was to get a porta potty and put it on the site, ADA compatible one, have it cleaned once or twice. That's your motion.
Yes, but I thought we already did it.
No, the other part,
Oh, the second and
the
third?
third, yeah.
Okay, so I motion to so motion to defer to July 7th. Motion for him to call and get another porta potty that's ADA compliant, and what was the last one? Those three things?
To
Reach out to
reach
Parks
out
and
to Park
Recs
for a
to find a
space.
space. All in favor? I'm sorry, I will second, 2 seconds.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
it's been a long meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Yeah, none heard, motion carries. I'm going to get through these and then we'll quickly go to the ones that we missed on front. Okay. Update with possible action regarding the Lucas job posting, the length of advertising, and setting a date for reviewing applications and scheduling interviews. We've gotten over 60 applications. Most of them are not, people just put in their resumes without reading the job description. But there's a good dozen, 12 to 15 that should be reviewed. Some have more experience in the functions of a board and than others. I think I gave access in Indeed to 4 people. I think what we need to do is just get the committee together. I don't want it to, obviously, it's 5 people, so it would be 4 people. So far, the people have been on it are Fede, Ariana, Bobby, who else? Myra, sorry, Myra. Are those the 4? I don't have to be in there if a 5th person wants to be in there. Is there anybody else that's interested in serving to look through these? I already picked out like 14. I don't know.
I'll look through them.
Huh?
I'll look through them, sure.
Okay.
I'm interested, yeah.
You're interested? Okay. So what we'll do, I'll put you on so that you can see you can share that with Francisco,
From
the ones that you got.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
And you want all, on Indeed, I put the ones that I thought,
I think the ones that.
yeah, and you can like check them off.
Okay.
But you can add to them, like, no, this one, or whatever.
So we'll get access to that. I don't have access to it.
You don't have access. Okay, yeah, I'll get you access. And, but I'd like to turn it off, and somehow, I don't know how we're gonna put all of those in a folder, because it costs $35 a day to be advertising. So, if it's okay, I'd like to close the advertising from, can we say
So you're making-
today?
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, because we have a lot to choose from. Is that something?
Okay.
Huh?
For today at 11:59 p.m.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
We'll close the advertising and then we'll, now it's
Take it
still
off
on
the
the,
website
it's
too?
still on the website.
Do we
So
take it off the
do we
website?
take it off the website as well?
I would say so. We don't keep
so.
getting applicants. If we
Okay.
got 50
think-
plus 60.
Okay. The window is closing on this. We'll do that. If I can't get a hold of Karen, I don't know how to do that on Wix. So I'll get a hold of Karen to help me, unless somebody knows how to do Wix. No?
They
That's
really
website, right? That's
Wix
website.
is the website.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can figure it out really quickly.
It's really, it's pretty
Wix is
simple.
supposed to be like really easy to
Yeah, because I can
learn.
figure it out really quickly.
Okay.
Do we need to make a motion for all of this? Like
I think we
for
do.
removing
I
the-
think we do. Can somebody make a motion?
I make a motion to remove the job posting from Indeed and the LCUES website.
A second.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None heard, motion carries. But you just said off the website, did you include Indeed?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna set, I am not, me personally, I won't be here for next week, the week after, I'm here for only 2 days, maybe 3. So if you all can meet and review, okay? And see if you want to add more or whatever on there, then,
We'll determine on the schedule. I'll be here partial next week, and then I'm out of the country for 3 weeks.
Nice.
partial, so we have to do it for next week with you. Is this can we do this by Zoom,
I'm
guys?
sure we
Yeah.
could, you can just show the, right?
Well, you're gonna see them, and you can say, I like this
More
one.
than 6, okay.
God, I only
So,
found 3, you
My
found 14,
understanding
whatever.
from the training is we need quorum face-to-face, and then everybody else can be remote.
That's for a meeting, not for a committee meeting.
But if it's 6, it's considered a meeting.
I'm 5.
It's
Oh, it's 5.
I'm not on there.
it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
Francisco, Mayra, myself, Beth, and who else did we say?
Maybe Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay, so 5.
Just do an interview.
So we can do via Zoom, the 5 of us?
You all
Would that
want
be
to
easier?
Quorum is 6, so we
Yeah.
should be fine.
Right, okay,
In case one can't make it, you let me know and I can.
Okay.
okay.
We just need to pick a
Great.
day.
So we have an
I think I
alternate.
have time Tuesday. And I had my phone's in the car, but
I'm
I
pretty
just
open.
remember
I'm
Tuesday
pretty
was.
open on next week.
I'm gonna have
Okay, so there's a committee meeting, 5. Do you have the names?
Yeah, so I have, one second. Okay, I have myself, Bobby, Ariana, Myra, and Francisco.
Alternate,
I don't know, I'm sure name.
okay. Got it?
Does Tuesday morning work for everybody?
For me, yeah.
No.
What time works for you?
Wednesday works best.
Oh, Wednesday I can't. Wednesday I have leadership with Dr. Tuesday. Unless he can't. So Tuesday all day you can't.
Probably maybe we can do it 12:30 to 1:30
On what day?
on Tuesday. But I have to be out of there by 1:30 at least, because I have another one at 2.
So we can do Zoom. Or y'all want us to meet in person?
No, it was Zoom, but,
Okay, Zoom.
but it
Oh,
could
you
be done
mean
by,
it could be done.
because then I need
To
to
leave
jump in.
something. So that's Tuesday, 12:30 and 1:30? Are y'all available for that?
Yeah. Lunch.
Yeah.
We just need to ask Bobby
Just
now
do lunch.
tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they want to be on it.
Okay.
Tuesday's,
Woohoo! I'm excited. Okay, guys. I don't think that was appropriate at a meeting, but sorry, I woohooed. Okay. I'm just excited. All right. So, what's the date?
June 17th.
Okay.
12:30 to 1:30.
Okay, I'm good.
Lunch.
Please tell me, the people who have access, you can see everything on Indeed?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Can you just share your screen? And just, we could do that.
No, but
Oh, you want-
you
we
need
can
to
look at
go
the slide,
and
right.
you
Each
need
one,
to
yes.
read and
Yes.
a lot of owners
Yes.
go next because they
Yes.
don't
Right,
apply.
okay.
Okay?
I need to get access.
So you should, before the meeting,
Mhm.
have reviewed and said, I'd really like to, let's discuss this one.
Mhm.
Let's discuss this one. And end up, in my opinion, you end up with 3 30-minute interviews, we'll set that up, right? And then if those 3 don't work out, you go to the next 3. Okay? That's my opinion.
3 candidates and 1 or 3 alternates.
Right.
Okay.
And who can send me the link so I can review it?
I can send it to you. Although, anybody here who has it is an admin. Okay. Bobby sent something. All right. Moving on. Sorry for the length of this meeting. Moving on. Just discussion with possible action regarding Food Town Laredo, Texas, and Laredo Food Policy Council. There may be no action necessary. There's a meeting today at 4 o'clock. It's online, and we're just gathering people. And please, whatever organization you all represent, please see if you can participate with some kind of event or something, or at least help. Like the health department's always helped do this, but like join these meetings because this is getting popular, and it's I don't know if you all saw what was on there. You're on there, right? The Food Policy Council? So there's a lot of things that are interesting that are coming about. I have a time constraint that doesn't allow me to go, like, I don't have the time right now because I have a lot of job that's I have to go and do in San Antonio. But I need help on going through the plan and seeing where we want to maybe do something in that, or what people are suggesting are going to further the plan. Because those are performances that we, as LCUAS, that's the kind of performance we need to show for refunding. Please join the meeting. I think you were at the last one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to.
At 4?
What day is it?
It's
Today.
today for.
Are you not on the Food Policy Council app? We'll add you.
I got to have another meeting for a playground.
No, I understand if you don't, but you can also just reply on there, or I'm interested, or keep me posted, or something like that, because,
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
I didn't get a notice on my
and look through the plan, because there's a lot of stuff that pertains to each department's mission and food security and all sorts of things. So
But are
there's
you on
all
the
different
WhatsApp?
ways.
Because that's where she put the link last time.
Yeah.
There's the
I don't know
Laredo
what's-
Food Policy Council WhatsApp,
There was a
and that's
WhatsApp.
where the link was to join the meeting.
No, I don't have a list. I
It
don't
wasn't
have
via
that.
email.
Okay, I'll add you, or somebody please.
I think you have to be an administrator to
She's
add
an administrator.
for the other piece.
Yeah, do that.
Huh? Maybe you can do that while I'm trying to finish this.
Okay.
Okay, can we move on? Okay. Discussion and possible action regarding the lease agreement for the property at 1415 Chihuahua Street with the city of Laredo. I think we've already discussed that. So we're waiting for July 7th, steady as she goes.
We estimate to execute these in August.
Okay. July 7th is the first.
Right.
But then August is the final.
No,
it's
June
then
and July.
Okay.
And August 1st would
As
be-
soon as we get the approval from City Council, we'll go ahead and process it.
Man, you guys, woo-hoo, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. This. All right, thank you for your help, though.
Yes, of course.
And thank you, you've been very generous with your time, I know. Thank you. Discussion and possible, can we move on?
Yes.
Okay, discussion and possible action regarding the funding allocation requested by LCUAS. Any news that you would like to share with us?
For the contract, for the request for payment, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We already went ahead and processed it, so we
What
should,
does that mean?
it means that it should, since the day we process it, we have up to 30 days for them to issue out a check. So you process it a week ago? So it got processed a week ago. As soon as you send it to us, we went ahead and processed it.
Okay,
So as soon as they cut a check, we'll go ahead and contact you.
is there any way that you can ask them to expedite? No? Okay, it's a process.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Any announcements? Sorry, we need to go back. Secretary's report, quick, we gotta do these quick fire ones.
Oh, yeah. I don't really have much. I guess I don't know. Bobby was able to give his treasurer's report. I don't know if we wanted to take that time to also consult with Oscar.
Sure.
Okay, so there's no secretary's report from my end. Bobby's treasurer's report, I think it's somewhere on here. I saw it.
Well, don't you prepare it?
The treasurer.
I have the financials.
Okay.
I can present the financials.
Do you wanna do that, or, there was a question, right?
Yeah, so also one of the things that was brought up is if, I know we're part of, as far as the IRS is concerned, we're also a nonprofit, so we wanted to ask you if there's any issue of us contracting 2 employees that would be making 55,000 to 60, upwards of 60,000. Like, is there any issue with the IRS as having those as contract rather than employees?
Like this classification, right?
Yeah, the classification is very important because if we don't do it properly, there's penalty and interest involved, and especially the taxes. Because in this case, for an officer position like an executive director, there's gonna be a lot of direction and control from the board, and the IRS will see that as an employee-employer relationship. You can have them as contractor, and there could be a contract in place, signed, and everything. But if the IRS says, no, you know what, the relationship is employee-employer, and now you have to pay over 1 year of taxes to us plus penalties and interest, and I've seen it happen, and I mean there's substantial, like the taxes and penalties, right?
Even if it's in the bylaws of a local government corporation statute, that you can do that?
On that, if it gets very specific, I will need a little bit more time to research on that and maybe consult with a nonprofit attorney on that has an expertise on tax law. But I mean, eventually, there's going to be the IRS has a very clear. There's publication 15 and publication 15A that gives additional insight on that. But it's very clear. The IRS focuses on direction and control. How will the work be performed and by whom? If there's a lot of control and directives given to that position, especially an officer, it has to be an employee, right?
Well, the goal would be that the executive director is not given too much direction by the board. That the
Yeah.
executive director is responsible of managing the program day in, day out. For example, the contract review should have been an executive director responsibility.
Correct.
Fiduciary purpose of financial stability should have been the executive director responsibility.
Correct.
Grant raise should have been the responsibility. The board should just be here to provide fiduciary oversight. That's it. Now, Myra, do this. Myra, do that. We should not, as a board, should not be doing that with an executive director.
And that's clear in our bylaws and in the articles of a corporation.
No, and I've seen, even if you have clearly defined scope of work and deliverables, I mean, the IRS has a lot of resources on that.
Okay.
I could research more on the matter, but I mean, I've seen an independent contractor that's a director for a specific program, and they get the task assigned in a contract, and you give them there's an Exhibit A, these are the deliverables, Exhibit B, these are the outcomes, right? But as an executive director, the most I've seen is employees, W-2 employees, right? But again, I mean, give me some time, I'll research more into it, and I'll consult with some friends to get the right answer for you guys. I mean, if I can get it in writing, even better, right? Just to be on the safe side, because you don't want the IRS to, I mean, let me give you an example. If there's this contractor files their taxes and they end up paying a lot of taxes because they were not aware of the relationship, they're gonna complain, right? So that's gonna trigger something else. So.
When you need someone, let me know. I know a couple of people from the IRS.
Yes.
The regional manager.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yes, I'll reach out.
Okay.
Because we need someone.
Okay, well, we have time. I mean, we have time.
Yep.
I mean,
Not a lot of time.
No, I just need a couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah, just a couple of days to research more.
Thank you so much. Is there any way to make sure that he's on the email list?
I just need a letter from you or an email saying that you want to invite him for all of the meetings from here on.
Is that the case for anybody that
Yes.
gets invited?
I
Okay.
don't get the invitations.
Yes, because I need also authorization from you to send them the meeting.
To him?
Yes, to both. Because they're not part of the board.
We need
Okay,
an email from the chair of the committee or the board.
the chair.
Who is part of that.
To be able
Monthly
to
meeting.
invite,
And what
yes.
is, okay, okay.
And the other item will be with the funder. If the funder doesn't have any restrictions on that, I mean, that's.
Right.
What do you mean restrictions?
Because some grants only allow employees, and some grants you could use the money for contractors or however the nonprofit needs.
That's right.
Okay, guys. Okay, I'm confused. Even if it's in our bylaws, executive directors, officers, all of that, in our bylaws it says, like, it's clear that they can be part of a.
No, they can be part of the meeting, but for me to be able to send them a meeting invite, I just need authorization from someone for me to send it to them.
Okay, all right, no
Oh,
problem.
from a board member.
From a board member, yeah, I can
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, okay, I thought it had to be the chair.
Okay,
I'll let it go.
all right, got it.
Doing it right now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait your time.
Okay, guys, thank you, I appreciate that, Maida. Treasurer's report, you want to give a quick and dirty on the finances? They take probably another 3 weeks to, I don't know if it's gonna take 3 weeks.
No, it's not. You should have it by next week.
Okay.
Yes, because it was in the.
But they have up to 30 days to provide money for the,
Alright. So I'm gonna start with the statement of financial position. LCU, this is as of today, the 6/12. The bank ended, the bank balance is $24,095.27. There are no other assets in LCUAS, no liabilities, no debt. Now, going on the statement of activities or statement of revenues and expenses. This is from October 1st to June 12th. Again, it's cumulative, all the months. Total contributions and grants, $48,119.23. Those are grants and donations from corporate, other grants and from other nonprofits. Now, expenses. The major expense again is the contract labor from Jose and Jorge. Right now is at $35,842 with 37 cents. Insurance, $1,853 with 18 cents. Now, office-related expenses, which is the software apps, internet, and office supplies, ended at $2,143 with 37 cents. Food programs, food meals, refreshments, anything needed for the workshops and all those activities, $4,065 and 51 cents. Supplies and materials for the urban farms, $2,175. Given total expenses at $46,586 with 95 cents. This gives a surplus of $2,432 with 28 cents as of today, from October all the way to June 12th.
so the available monies are?
24,000.
Okay. Okay, so we're looking for some expenses coming around very soon for the restroom and all that. Urban Ag, Director.
I guess you have my report from last time, but when I sent Fede, last time you include all the events that we have had so far in 2025. So from January to May, we have had 14 events, and all the numbers that you see in that report are updated and are backed up with the sign-in sheets. In June, we have had 2 workshops so far, and we will have the farmers market next weekend. So we will add 3 more events to that master list of healthy brands. So I'm happy to report that we have had many people, many volunteers, and we will be adding more. Also,
So where are the events? I'm sorry, are they, I don't see
the master list?
well, I'm looking at this. ¿Es esto o no es
Yeah.
esto?
Yeah, well, in the Excel file or the file, there's another tab with the master list of events. I don't know if you have it or not. It's in the file that I
Different
sent
pages?
Fede. I guess they only printed the.
I think that's the only part.
That's the only
included.
Okay, so
No,
on
ma'am.
the actual file, there's another tab that says master list of events 2025, and I have all these 14 events.
Master list.
Master list.
What does that mean?
Well, that's the list of every event that we have, that I have attended or I have delivered or.
But they don't fall under any of these categories?
Yes.
Are they here now?
Yes. Mhm.
Are they, just tell me where.
Well, I don't have a copy of it, but.
Oh,
you can-
okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see like dates or anything, so.
De hecho, están en azul, los números que están en azul son los actuales.
No, those are from the resolution.
Bueno,
The programs and then the events.
well, this is
So
not
I
the
don't
actual
see any
report.
of it. Like, for instance, this is 2024. Do
Yeah,
you
this
have
is not the-
2025?
This is not the 25
Did you
report
get
that I
that?
sent.
That's the one, I think that was sent, that I received.
For
But I don't know if it's
example,
on another
I
tab.
can't show it on my phone.
Okay, we don't.
Oh, like, yeah, maybe there's like another.
2025, can you please send that with this
It's been sent,
updated?
but I can sure like right now
Mhm.
on my file.
Well, we don't have a copy of it here,
Yes,
so,
I sent him, last time I sent him a copy of it.
last time.
Is it this
Well,
one?
last
that-
time, they.
That's the one you sent me.
That's the one I got.
It could be that maybe that you said
But this
this
is
Excel
2025.
spreadsheet, there might be another tab, and so it's only
Hmm.
one page that was printed, maybe.
So
Is
here,
that possible?
here's the master list of events of 2025. This is the file that I
And
sent.
that's kind of like a calendar of
Yeah,
events,
man,
kind of.
but that's another tab. And then if we go to 2025, here's the same report that we see in
Mhm.
24 with these numbers in blue
Mhm.
are the numbers that I'm,
Can you resend that to everybody,
Yes, of
please?
for example, I have, up until May, I had 279 attendees at the garden.
Volunteers.
Uh-huh.
That's really great.
That's
The
awesome.
thing is that if we don't parse it out, si no lo ponemos
I
así
mean-
como, no se va a ver the performance on the,
It's there. This is the one I sent the last
Okay.
time, and I didn't get the chance to share this last time because
so but how about this time? Did you send it for this time?
es el mismo que mandé a mí.
Is it
Pero
on,
so-
do you have-
¿cómo es
I
el
have it
mismo
as a
si
PDF
no?
and it says 2024.
I can send you this later today, and it's updated until May. Aquí está todo en azul, eso es lo que está en azul es lo nuevo.
Sí, pero es este, es,
It's the
Es el
same,
mismo
but it
que
says
es el
25.
que es 2024 y este es 2025.
ok. Y lo tienes,
Y aquí está todos los números backed up with these tiny sheets. The only thing I have to include here is the two events that
That just
happened.
happened.
One happened this today.
okay. So we are, as long as we're showing our performance on all of those things and we're coordinating,
If I go back to the,
it's gonna make their life very easy.
bueno, aquí está todo, por ejemplo, if we go to the master list of events, hasta ahorita llevamos 17 eventos.
Sí, pero gracias a Dios y muy buen trabajo, pero la otra, por favor dime que sí lo,
Bueno, aquí está.
Ok,
Lo
ok.
que yo mandé, pero no lo imprimieron. pero
Ok.
aquí está.
mira, la cosa es que we have to show performance on the resolution that was passed.
Aquí está.
And each one of those says, we are performing on that, because this event tiene algo que ver con agua, aire, plantas,
So it's like, exactly that report,
voluntarios.
which
Yes.
is what he's showing us on his phone. He's saying that like maybe it was a separate tab, and maybe.
Sí, porque es el mismo archivo, nomás que uno dice
Yeah.
2024,
And then it's
hay un tab de
So
2024
when-
y otro tab de
when it was
2025
sent,
y
they
otro
just
tab de
printed
master
one
list.
page.
Entonces,
Well, I just
Yeah.
sent it as a PDF, but
Oh.
I'm wondering if maybe that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Por
the
eso
same
solo
page.
Well, no
imprimí
problem,
2024.
we'll get through it.
Bueno, y otra cosa que quería reportar es que tenemos que, we have to renew the irrigation system at Canseco, porque es el sistema original que se puso en 2018. Entonces ya no está funcionando eficientemente. Necesitamos cambiar mangueras, válvulas, filtros, y tengo un quote, aunque creo que todavía estoy autorizado para llevar a cabo una compra hasta cierto límite, ¿no? Entonces,
I don't know.
Y eso era parte del grant de Centerpoint, la irrigación y todo lo que se
ahorita hemos estado arreglando manualmente, pero necesitamos hacer estos cambios ya. Entonces, el señor Navarro de Parque nos está ayudando mucho porque, además otra cosa que pasó ahora con el fence y todo, bueno, el reloj del irrigation system está dentro de la casa. Entonces, otro obstáculo más, pero bueno. Entonces, necesitamos poner atención en esto, porque si no, no puedo estar regando manualmente toda la vida. Es más gasto de agua. Este sistema de riego te ahorra 95% de agua.
¿Drip irrigation o qué es?
¿Y cuánto tiempo dura la instalación? Más o menos te dieron
Pues si
presupuesto.
compramos esto la próxima semana, nos vamos a ir, tenemos que ir cambiando poco a poco todas las mangueras. Hay que cambiar todas las tuberías, y todas las
válvulas
mangueras, y
también, ¿no?
todas las válvulas y todos los filtros. Nos va a llevar meses.
¿Y cuánto es el presupuesto?
Por ejemplo, esto es para empezar a trabajar y son $429. Pero es para empezar a hacer cambios. Nos falta comprar más cosas todavía.
Pero no
Ok.
sabes el total.
No,
No.
este quote me lo dio Mr. Navarro y es con lo que tenemos que empezar a trabajar.
You would need a quote for the whole job.
Yeah. ¿Nos puedes traer un presupuesto de todo lo que se tomaría para la próxima junta? Y luego ya, I don't know if we need to approve expense, but I think he can,
Depending on how much the whole quote is, right?
yeah. Well, I don't know.
Ahora, se supone que yo estoy autorizado.
Bueno.
Si yo es más, si yo no les comparto esta información, yo digo, hoy compro esto a Irving, yo estaría todavía autorizado para hacer esta compra y empezar a trabajar y hacer los cambios que se tienen que hacer ya. O sea, si lo postergamos otro mes más, hay que estar regando manualmente otro mes más.
Pero que se quebraron las tuberías. ¿O
No,
qué?
las mangueras pues ya están unas rotas, fugas, hay que reparar
No
cosas.
idea.
Este es el sistema de riego que se puso en 2018, estamos en 2025,
Entonces tú estás aprobado para hacer compras de...
hasta menos de $500.
Ok. Pero dices que va a tomar
Pero-
más de $500
Sí,
en
el
total.
trabajo total sí. Esto es
Entonces,
para empezar a
¿Cuánto
hacer-
piensas que va a tomar?
Pues,
Rough
la verdad,
estimate.
eso es una pregunta para el Mr. Navarro, no porque él es el que me dio este curso directamente.
I would hesitate to do
Él instaló
anything
el
right
sistema.
now.
In case we don't get access.
Well, because he's saying that some of these lines are within the restricted area. Why would we want to spend funds on something that is restricted right now? And it's 3 weeks again. At the end of the day, it's just 3 weeks. But we've been doing it for so long manually. It would be 3 more weeks, and I'm the first
Well,
one
he
to
has,
not.
you have irrigation right now,
Oh, you
but
do?
it's, no?
hand
It's a
watering.
manual.
No está jalando, estamos regando con
Sí,
la
pero
manguera.
lo que digo es que no es como que estás comprando algo nuevo, hay uno ahí lo estás reemplazando.
Tenemos
But
que
the lines
There
are,
is
the
an
lines
Tenemos que
are
reemplazar el sistema
it's not
original.
working, yeah.
Right, right,
Ya no
right.
está funcionando
But
bien.
it's not like we're putting, because they've
No,
been
no,
watering
it's just
6 years,
replacement,
like,
yeah.
they have an irrigation system, but it doesn't work.
My thing is, it's 3.5 weeks. Let's just say 3.5 weeks to get this lease agreement.
No,
At least that
así
piece.
hemos dejado ir muchas cosas en 5 años también, entonces yo
Don't worry about it.
I
I'm
understand
keeping
that.
notes and I'm keeping copies of everything. Just need-
They're just saying that we are authorized for that expense because it was a line item in the center point grant, so they're saying
Yeah, from the center point.
for irrigation.
Oh, okay. but
When are the
it needs
funds
to be spent
available?
ASAP.
Have we received the check
Or when are the funds available?
es una
Oscar.
pregunta para
Oscar.
To ask if we received the check for
No.
what?
from center point?
Center
Yes, it
Point?
was direct. It was ACH. We got
It was
electronic.
15.
15K.
Yeah.
So then he has.
We have- we have the
Received
funds for that.
already?
Yes.
Well, then-
Right now, there's $24,000 in the bank in change.
And this is at least just, so the what's there now doesn't die, if you were to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, the project called for irrigation system, upgraded our irrigation systems.
But it's- my understanding is.
If we can hold on, yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah,
Well,
I
one,
agree.
but two is, my thought process is, if you're gonna get a quote just to do pieces,
No.
it's, no, just.
I'm calling for him to get a quote on the whole
Everything,
project,
yeah,
yeah.
I would, okay. Is this part of the agenda?
It's his, yes, it's his, it's
It might even be cheaper to buy all
No,
the
because
supplies
it's,
from the
he's just doing his.
for the whole project versus
the
just piece by
repairs.
piece.
Sí,
Right?
es mejor hacer
Right.
todo en la.
Tú le vas a hacer el trabajo.
entre Mr. Navarro y yo.
Okay. Y cuesta más, es más económico comprar todo que comprar parte
De
por
todas
parte,
maneras, no se puede instalar, sí se puede
Ok.
comprar todo junto, aunque no se instale todo junto, porque hay cosas sembradas y hay que esperar a que se monta. O sea, hay pasos.
Pero puedes comprar todo.
Pero se puede comprar todo.
That's a good question. Francisco, would you mind sending the like agreement to the council?
Yeah, it's-
Oscar, did you?
Yeah, you received it on your email.
agreement?
The
Sí,
agreement,
yo tengo
yeah,
eso.
he has it.
Okay.
What email?
Or if you want to
For
send
the
it grant,
center
The
point.
center point,
Grant,
the
nos aprobaron.
the word.
Or
Yeah.
what email? Well, I didn't know
The-
what's
the
it sent
county
to.
folder.
Yeah.
Help us.
Sí, yo
Okay,
tengo
that's
cuando...
not our official email. What is our official email?
That was the official
Right now?
email when we
Yes.
did the grant.
Sí, pero en ese momento no había...
Our-
no había
our-
información.
Our official email now is contact at
Laredo.
LaredoUrbanAg.org.
Does our accountant
Now.
need to know that, so that way we
Yes.
can make that change to that grant and make sure that
Yes,
it's
yes,
directed
all
to the
those
correct
grants need to
email?
be changed now because we don't have access to his email.
Yeah, I wanna
Tienes
make
que
sure everything-
cambiar tu email porque LCUAS
Lo voy a dejar de usar.
no puedes. Si no lo quieres dejar, bueno, si no lo vas a usar, ¿qué es el problema?
No es un canal oficial, no es un correo oficial y lo creé yo cuando entré a trabajar y...
Sí es correo oficial de LCUAS porque lo hiciste con el contrato. Tiene el nombre. Pero si lo vas a dejar, no entiendo el problema. Se tiene que, porque no puedes tener uno que es LCUAS, se van a confundir la gente. Entonces, si tenemos que cambiar lo que es oficial, que ya se está
En
eso.
realidad tendría que haber un oficial para el nuevo director y otro oficial para mí.
Ya se compró, pero necesitamos. I don't even look this kind of protocol.
But
I've
it's
never
set
had
up,
an
though,
issue
right?
with this, so I have no clue what to do.
Have the email address
How
been set
to
up?
just send. It's been sent up. It's been paid for and set up.
Do you know if all the files have been transferred?
No,
None of it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Who would know, Karen? Or
Files have been transferred to
Files,
LCUA.
as far as-
like from the Google Drive to the...
Oh no, that
Everything
wouldn't
you
be
know how to do that.
on the. This is
I
on
can
the
do it.
website.
Just give me access and I can do it.
You're talking about the Google Workspace.
Yeah.
He
like-
has the Google Workspace.
But some people have access to the files, no?
You'll have access to the drive.
We don't have administrative access, so every time we ask, it's restricted.
And then we have to change the primary email to...
I don't know if I have
Is it
access
a
to
regular
it.
email or?
It has to be 3 people.
Yeah, because it's such a small unit, I think it needs to be like a primary backup and then a
Right.
backup to backup.
Mhm.
That's what you don't want,
That's where I've been uploading the grant, so it's viewable quality. So you can have it submitted.
Well, I can confirm that it's not to me.
Me neither, I don't have access to any.
Because I was
Okay.
checking for that,
Okay.
to provide support.
I don't know, I don't think I
Puedo
can
ser
control
admin,
that.
puedo ser usado.
No, pero, o sea, pero yo he tenido acceso, yo puedo subir cosas ahí.
Sí.
Si los hace admin, él va a estar más fácil. Porque ya nomás haces download them. De cualquier computer, you can just download them and save them in a flash drive or, I don't know if Lucas has it, a Dropbox o algo, y ya nomás los transfiere.
Sorry.
Is there anything else on the or director's report?
Yeah, we're, no,
No, that's
¿ya?
it. Yeah.
Okay, muchas gracias.
So
Sorry.
just FYI to our accounting, are you a consultant to LCO? Okay.
Yes.
So just as an FYI, so it's on record that we have a different email account now, and so we need to make sure that everything's directed to that, including our IRS documentation.
Okay.
Because it's coming to that timeline for nonprofits, and so we don't want to miss something. In
That
case he
includes
retires.
like the IRS thing, that's the most important
Yeah,
one.
because I know that when I came in, that was one of the big things.
Okay,
to
are
update
we
the
done?
It's contact at LaredoUrbanAg.org.
Yes, and I believe there's 3 people that have, that will be receiving those. I think you, no? Karen put somebody on it. Maybe it's Fede. Guys.
Secretary.
Chihuahua, I know that Karen sent it out. Karen,
But to the...
no, there's,
Can you
in other
email?
words, so that people can access other than me.
So I know I am on the Indeed, but
Yeah.
that's all I know.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, look, I'll do this. I gotta prepare for
Motion to
We have
for
another
the.
meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion, yes.
Second.
Motion.